Hey guys, this is Pato Award, and you're listening to Indie Sports Podcast. And or what is that? Is that what it's called? Yeah,
That's
right.
that's perfect.
Or did I say something wrong?
No, trust me, man. I mean, I can edit all this. It's no
What
problem.
is
You
it?
can
What is it again? Indie Sports Podcast or what?
The Indie Sports Car Podcast.
Indie Sports Cars Podcast.
Nice. Yeah, if you want to try it again, go ahead.
Hi guys, I'm Pato Award, and you're listening to the Indie Sports Car Podcast. Hey guys, this is Pato Award, and you're listening to Indie Sports Podcast. And or what is that? Is that what it's called? Yeah,
That's
right.
that's perfect.
Or did I say something wrong?
No, trust me, man. I mean, I can edit all this. It's no
What
problem.
is
You
it? What is it again? Indie Sports Podcast or what?
The Indie Sports Car Podcast.
Indie Sports Cars Podcast.
Nice. Yeah, if you want to try it again, go ahead.
Hi guys, I'm Pato Award, and you're listening to the Indie Sports Car Podcast.
Welcome, ICP fans, to another episode of the Indie Sports Car Podcast. Hey, Missy.
Hello, hello.
And I would like to introduce for the first time to the show, but not the first time to warm into Missy and my hearts, and now into yours, Marty Davis. How are you, Marty?
I'm good. Thanks, guys, for having me.
Would you like me to redo that so people don't know your full name? Are you that, little skitsy about the whole anonymity thing? Or you good?
No, that's cool.
Okay, cool. Because my last name is Smith, personally. I wouldn't let people know my last name, but you do, play with fire. It's cool. Missy, what's up? I'm kidding.
Not much. It's race weekend, finally.
Yeah, that's right.
Off season is over.
I'm having a feeling of deja vu, Missy.
Yeah, I am too.
That's because I screwed this up already once.
Yeah.
Yep.
Happens.
Technology hates me. Marty, I've had this mixer for 3 months, and this is the first time I am, finally, confident enough to use it on this show, because I suck at technology, or it hates me, one of the two. Bill Microsoft sucks, and Tim Apple sucks even more sometimes. Yeah. But, hey, what are you going to do?
Well, you sound fantastic, so carry on.
Well, thank you. Do you just want to let the fans out there know if you hear any volume switches or any bit of, us sounding better than usual, thank you. But if you hear any, volume, twitches or, little tweaks here and there, we're still trying to dial in our new, mic and mixer and surround recorder, equipment that we got for you fine folks out there for your listening pleasure, better pleasure than before, actually. Yep. It's kind of like Wrigley's gum, how it used to suck, but then it got better. We're like the better Wrigley's gum now. Yep.
Right, and I'm just going to take this over now.
Okay. Yep.
So, racing this weekend. St. Petersburg is this weekend. Yes, I know. Well, let's go over. I want to go over the big story because that just dropped yesterday. So,
SpaceX Dragon 2 landed back to Earth.
Frank Indycar.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Anyway, So, yes, Pato. We're going to talk about Pato. He is the big news name of the day, yesterday and today.
It was the luck of the Irish. He was able to get the 13-year deal with Carlin. Carlin needed a pot of gold, so they called up Pato of Gold. I'm going to call him Pato of Gold with his shillelagh. He must have found a 4-leaf clover Thursday and said, I was going to do ICP, but 4-leaf clover, maybe Carlin will need me and I'll give him a call. And pot of gold they got. And that was an Irish accent.
So bad. So anyway, yeah, so Pato, he is signed with Carlin for 12 races out of the 17 this year. He will be sharing the car with Charlie Kimball, who, as we said earlier a couple of shows ago, Charlie Kimball will be doing St. Petersburg. He will also be doing Texas, Pocono, and Laguna Seca, and the rest of the races will be Pato. So, and there will be a third car for Carlin at the Indy 500. So it will be Chilton, Pato O'Ward, and and Charlie Kimball. Charlie Kimball, Max Chilton, and Pato O'Ward for Carlin for the Indianapolis 500.
Now, Missy, I would just like to interject. That is, as of right now, March 8th, 2019. Because if you can get 3 cars for the Indy 500 for Pato, Chilton, whatever, Kimball, by
Charlie
then,
Kimball, yes.
the amount of buzz Pato has been causing throughout the fan base, sponsors are going to hear about this. People are going to be tuning in to see this young talent. Basically a star being born. Legend in the making, I like to call it, even though 3 years ago he's legend in the making to me, but everybody else is catching up to my amazing, insight. But hey, it's cool. People have been listening for a while. You've been on train with me. I've been talking to you. We're all celebrating. Heck yeah. Can't be happier for you, Pato. And the Parker train, too. Can't be happier than the Parker train. Good job for today, P1.
One thing at a time.
I'm sorry. However, sorry. When I start, gloating about myself, I can keep going. You got to stop me.
We are excited that Pato has a race deal. So I am, because I was a little nervous that we weren't going to see the Indy Lights champion in IndyCar this year.
I never had a doubt, because he's Pato. He's got the luck of the Irish. Of course he's going to find a ride.
Yeah.
I think it would have been an absolute disgrace to the road to Indy if he didn't have something put together. It would have been a slap in the face to everybody.
And it would have been probably... Pato right now is legitimately the best natural talent racer to ever graduate out of Indy Lights into IndyCar since MRTI or TI has existed. And I challenge you to name me somebody better.
Scott Dixon.
What? Scott Dixon didn't graduate.
She did actually name someone.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the way it is now in the last, 13 years of its iteration.
Take away my glory.
Okay, yeah, Indy Lights existed in 98 or 78, whenever Dixon started. But it's not the Indy Lights that we know and love today, okay? I'm talking about the MRTI scholarship, three-tiered system that we know and love right now. It was not like that back then. Was it? God, I hope not. Because, boy, did I not pay attention back in 98. Because that's when the split happened, and that's when Frank went and split too. So you two want to squabble over money? Goodbye. At least I didn't go running to NASCAR like half the fan base just came back. Anyway, it's just confrontational guys on Facebook. Excuse me. Oh.
And
Missy, have you dusted
on.
in here lately?
Yeah,
Huh?
that's nice. Don't throw that on me. Yeah, so moving on. So that was exciting news that came out. The other exciting news that came out is that IndyCar, solidified some international TV deals.
Big word.
So a lot of international fans can still watch their IndyCar racing. Although I don't think Canada is very happy with their deal, but
And this goes again to how unlucky Parker is. Like, can this series like not help Parker out at all ever? I mean, of all the years for Canada to like not be able to watch races, it's got to be the year like Pato needs the sponsorship from his country. So,
What?
You think
Pado's not Canadian.
did I say Pato? I'm a Parker. It starts with a P. I was close.
Good God.
This would have been a time where I mean, unfortunately, like the Wiccan situation, you know, you don't want to use tragedy to gain viewership, but with all of the Canadians,
I mean, you can argue IndyCar kind of did with Dan Weldon. Man.
well, you know what I'm saying is that they could have, I don't know, I guess you could have taken advantage of the fact that you've got all these Canadians that are interested. I mean, going all the way back to Greg Moore,
dude.
I mean,
Exactly. Yes. Great point, Marty.
That's why they market James Hinchcliffe.
Yeah, I mean Hinchcliffe, Wickens, you know the Greg Moore thing.
Just out there, speaking of Wickens, I am very happy to see him in St. Petersburg this weekend.
oh,
so.
absolutely. Can I get an amen on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody live streamed his talk today from St. Pete. It was a little bit hard to hear, but if you had headphones in, turn it up real loud, you could hear it. And he was just talking about his rehabilitation and how he never thought he'd be at the stage that he's at now, and he couldn't have done it without all the fan support, and family and just the great doctors and everybody, and he thanked the what do they call why am I drawing a blank on the team's name? The safety team's name is he?
The Homaltro safety team. Wait, no, that's not what they're called this year.
No, they're not. I remember that name. What are they called last year? It's not Marty. You remember? It's not Homaltra. It's
So like AARP something
no
safety.
Anyway, the safety team from Pocono, he really shouted them out because they were the heroes of the day. Let's face it. I mean, and also the doctors at Lehigh Valley General, I'll call it. I'm not sure if that's exactly what it's called.
It's AMR. I was a little
AMR.
off on the
There you go.
AARP. You know, whatever.
Well, you're old. You're used to that.
Yeah.
You know, AARP signing up, getting your checks at the end of the month to pay your bills and use your coupons. And if you get a flat, you know who to call. AARP. But star first, right, Marty? Not the hashtag. Otherwise, why doesn't this darn thing work? I got a flat. Star. And Kristen smacks you over the head. And, you know the story. You live it every couple of months. You tell me all about it. Did I go too far with that?
No, it's okay.
Missy, should I have stopped like halfway through that?
You should have stopped a while ago.
Yeah, I know. I don't even know what AARP is, to be honest with you. I know it has something to do with old people.
Not IndyCar related, I'll tell you that. So,
Maybe it could be if they sponsored
moving
them.
on, as we were just talking. So, the international TV deal. So, it goes over a wide range of different countries. So, you got like we said, Canada's in there, Brazil, Asia, Australia, Denmark, Finland, Germany, Ireland, Japan, Netherlands, Portugal, Russia, Spain, United Kingdom. So,
Thank God for the UK getting Sky Sports to air the IndyCar. I love it. I love it. I love it that finally they get to feel what it's like to have IndyCar on their F1 channel. That's right, because we've had to suffer with F1 on our IndyCar channel until we got our deal, and F1's just melting down. So, welcome to the final days of F1 in Europe. Well, not going to be final days, let's face it. As long as, Mercedes and all that exists, F1 will keep on going. But that doesn't mean the popularity of it will be even close to what it is now.
So bringing it back to St. Pete.
Yep. Well, see how I go way off topic? Easily.
Yes. So, St. Petersburg. So, the entry list for St. Petersburg this weekend. It will be, you have Joseph Newgarden, Matthias Lace, James Hinchcliffe, Marcus Ericsson, rookie this year, Scott Dixon, Felix Rosenquist, also a rookie this year, Will Power, Tony Kanaan, Graham Rahal, Sebastian Bourdais, Santino Ferrucci, another rookie this year for Dale Coyne. You have Ed Jones, Spencer Piggott, Simon Pagino, Charlie Kimball will be racing this race for Carlin, as we said. Zach Beach, Alexander Rossi, Ryan Hunter-Ray. Takuma Sato is with Rahal Letterman Lanigan this year. Max Chilton. Jack Harvey is with Meyer Shank Racing with Arrow SPM. Ben Hanley is racing for Dragon Speed, which they are doing 5 races this year, Dragon Speed. And Ben Hanley will be their driver, and he's also a rookie. And then you have Colton Herta, rookie, and Marco Andretti is your entry list for St. Petersburg this weekend.
Way to bring up the rear with the
So
rears.
we had
Get it?
there was practices today. So I believe the first practice. Curly Frank, grow up.
You got it though.
So the first practice, you had Felix Rosenquist at
Shocking.
the top of this practice 1.
Praise me. Praise me. 3 years now. Singing this man's praise. Praise me. Come on. At NKZ on Twitter. Like to hear some praise from the fan base. You've been hearing me talk about this kid for 3 years. Telling you, he is the real deal. Marty?
He is a beast.
Right? He is the beast from, well, I guess the West. It's like Europe, right? Not really the East. Or no, I'm sorry, the East. Yeah, beast from the East. That fits. Europe. Boy, do I not know my cardinal directions. Where is he from anyway? Praising his praises for 3 years. Not a clue who his home country is. That doesn't. Well, that's that's about my speed. Don't be surprised on that one. Marty, you surprised?
He's Swedish.
You know what? I'm not surprised. It sounds Swedish.
I'm not surprised in the least, actually.
At which part? Swedish, or how I wouldn't know he's Swedish till now?
That you didn't know where you're from.
Actually, the 2 Swedes were in the top 3.
Who's the other one? Oh, Ericsson.
Yes, Ericsson.
Wow,
the top
no
3
kidding.
for practice 1. It was Rosenquist, Ryan Hunter-Ray, and Marcus Ericsson.
Well,
And you got Scott Dixon, Rossi, Takuma Sato, Newgarden, Graham Rahal, Zach Beach, and Will Power were your top 10 for practice 1.
You know, Missy, can you repeat that top 10, please?
Rosenquist, Hunter-Ray, Ericsson, Dixon, Rossi, Sato, Newgarden, Rahal, Veach, and Power.
Veach is the only weak link out of that entire lineup, and that is not throwing shade at Veach. I'm just saying, if you take your career stats as far as wins, championships, race, and all that good stuff, obviously Veach is the weak link because he just hasn't had enough time in the series to really hit his stride. I believe in Veach. I think Veach is going to be a great driver. I think he's going to get at least 1, maybe 2 wins this year. I really do. Of course, I'll always say Will Power pulled a podium for St. Pete, but I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Veach took it Sunday. It would not surprise me in the least. He's got a lot of talent.
Yeah, I like Zach Veach too, but yeah, no.
Okay, fair enough. That's fine.
So in practice 2 then, the fastest was Hunter-Ray. So he went from 2nd to 1st in that practice.
RHR.
Then you had Piggott, Andretti,
Spigot was
Herta,
P2.
Chilton, Rossi, Hinchcliffe, Kimball, Newgarden, and Power were the top 10 in practice 2.
So practice 2 was more like, let's try some setups for race conditions type stuff. Let's not beat on the car too hard, except for the guys that need something to prove.
Well, I know that the Ryan Hunter-Ray went out and dropped that fast lap, but he came in and put the reds on and went out for a flyer, and then
right on.
kind of doing a sim qual lap. But
was he like basically scuffing up a few reds pretty much.
No, they get a free set of reds now,
Oh, do
which
they
is
really for
it's
the
pretty cool.
practices?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So they get a free set of reds, and so everybody went out and beat up a set and came back in, and I don't know.
How
was
are the Reds looking for St. Pete?
How do they look?
Yeah, because I mean the Reds always fell off really, really quick.
It was like 2 laps. It looked to be about
Really?
2 laps that they were.
Oh, like primo, like
Yeah, and then I think they were saying about a second fall off after that.
each lap.
No, total.
Oh.
Just after that.
Oh, what, like stint wise?
Yeah.
That's really good.
Well, that's what it sounded like. But I mean, they weren't dropping 10 laps at a crack at it. They only did
That's true.
maybe 4 minutes, 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean they weren't really going out there to throw screamers down to impress the crowd, you know.
I don't know, man.
Not
It's
all of them,
Andretti.
anyway.
They do stuff like that.
Well, no. One guy from Andretti does stuff like that. For the rest of the guys,
Oh, sorry.
yeah. Well, that was what's his face? Yeah, that's what happened to Munoz.
So I guess for this track, I think the tires they got, everybody gets 7 sets of primaries, except for the rookies. The rookies get 8 sets of primaries, and 4 sets of alternates,
Why would
5
that
sets of rain tires. For this
Well, I
race.
think the extra set, Missy, wasn't that the extra set of reds the rookies got they used in that first practice session?
Well, I don't know. It just says Firestone tires per entry.
And she said primaries, right?
Yeah,
Primaries.
7 sets of primaries for everyone.
Yeah, not,
8 for the
not
rookies.
Redwall. Yeah, blacks.
Yeah, blacks, the primaries.
Yeah, so why would the rookies
So
get an extra set of blacks? I don't get it.
Mm.
Oh, you know what? Rookies aren't really used to the whole red compound. Rossi had a big problem with the, adjusting to the red balls his first season. Even Wickens had a problem with the red balls the first couple races of the year. He said it was the most challenging thing to overcome, was just, having tires that fell off so fast.
And they get 150 seconds of total push to pass time with a maximum single duration each time they hit the button of 15 seconds.
Do they have to hold in the button all that whole 15 seconds?
I would assume they do.
I don't know, because like you're making these turns and you're on the button. Well, then again, you don't really hit the button until you're.
Which
in
again, I'm going to
straightaway.
mention again. I'm glad the LED panels are back because I really miss those.
Absolutely.
I
It's
like
great for
them.
the fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Marty, have you heard like everything the LED panels are going to be showing you this year now?
Not really, actually.
It's a lot more than what they were before they took them away for Indy last year. Missy, do you have that up?
No, they didn't have it. They didn't have any last year. The LED panels were gone.
No,
I was impressed when
they took them
when
away. Indy GP, and
No, they didn't.
didn't they?
They did not have any LED panels last year.
They did the first few
No,
races.
they did not. We
And
went through this on the last episode. We talked about this on.
Are you
No,
telling me this
they
is
didn't.
a 2-year-old story that I'm still thinking was last year? Because I remember when the LEDs were there and they left, and it was at Indy.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Okay, thank you. That's all I asked.
Not last year.
All right. I told you, the last 4 seasons feel like one season to me because I'm not what you would call like mentally smart. So, yeah. My brain is not like a file cabinet. And it's not like I can use Google easily, which I can. Yeah, it's something I got used to, actually. Because I'm normally using my MacBook to record, but now I'm using the PC, which, why would that make a difference? It shouldn't have. It did, because I'm lazy. But now I use my MacBook for, also, I could Google this stuff. But she's so much better at it. Because she's used to it. She's used to these off-the-wall stats that she needs to pick up right away. Well, I mean, she used to be, because she still hasn't gotten to it yet. I don't know what's taking her so long.
What are you talking about?
Well, do you have it?
Of course I do.
Then out with it, woman.
What? So, it's going to do the same thing as it did before. It's going to show you what position the car is in, It's going to show you when the driver is on the push to pass by showing the PP. It's going to give you a clock timing.
It's going to show when he pee-pees?
It's going to flash PP when they are on the push pass. Childish again. And it's going to show the clock for the timing for the car's pit stops.
I love
so you're
that,
going to see that
actually.
again.
Love that, especially being like, like when you're at the race, you don't get to see all that telemetry. So that's really, I think that's one of the best parts of the LED on the car. That was my favorite part anyway.
So, and then to assist the safety car or the safety team, the panel will show whether a driver's car's or a disabled car's engine is running, allowing the team to more quickly respond to, restart, or release a car back into competition.
Which is awesome that they're, another step forward in safety for, the workers.
So if the car's engine is running, the left side LED will display a green snake moving from bottom to top, and the right side display will show what gear the engine is in, including 0 if it's in neutral.
Will the snake's tongue be red?
If the engine is not running, the left side LED will display a horizontal red bars climbing from bottom to top, and the right side LED will display the gear the engine is in.
So it'll be so it'll look like pillars, like 3 pillars, 3 red going from top to bottom, or did you say vertical or horizontal?
Horizontal.
Okay, so it'll look like. Okay.
Yes.
It'll look like it, like a 2-lane back road when there's only
Yes. So those are what are the LED
Right.
panels will be.
Marty,
showing
can
share.
you come up with anything that 3 lines would make? Okay.
No, I'm actually still stuck on the fact that you thought that the snake was going to have a red tongue.
It should. Come on. I mean, they got the technology. It's an LED. They can do anything with it.
So yes. Anyway, so I'm glad the LED panels are back. I like them, and I think it's easier for the fans to see what place some of the drivers are in and when they're on the push to pass.
Mm-hmm.
I like that feature, so I'm glad to see it back.
And definitely for the fans that are at the track. That's
100%.
Mhm.
Like Iowa last year, with all the shenanigans going on, man, that would have been great to be able to see that. Just because you're standing in pit lane watching, you have no idea where anybody's at. You can't keep up with.
They weren't so important at, like, say, Iowa, or Gateway. I'm sorry. I meant Gateway. They weren't so important at Gateway because we knew who was in first. Didn't really need to see the 2 next to the 1. We knew it was just the 1. So.
Are you referring to Will Power?
No, I never do that on the show. Ask me who I think is going to win. I'm kidding. We're not even there yet.
No. So going back to the St. Pete. So what else you want to talk about St. Pete? So yeah, that was the practice sessions we went over for everybody. So
I'll say one thing about St. Pete. I wish we were there.
Oh yes.
Because I heard the weather forecast from racecast or weather.com. Our fellows that will be providing the weather forecast at the end of every show after Missy's lowdown for the showdown that we're now going to be integrating into the main show before every race. And it sounds like beautiful weather there. So definitely wait to the end if you're going to the race to check out, I mean, it's Florida. I'm guessing it's going to be sunny. Well, I don't need to guess. I heard it. But it will be sunny because it's Florida. Yep. And guess who forgot his sunglasses, Missy? Jared. And we all know how blind he is. So, sorry, Jared. It sucks. Anyways, Marty, is there anything about St. Pete you want to bring up that we haven't brought up?
No, I'm tracking with you guys.
Tracking who?
I'm on the same page. I have nothing more, nothing further to add to
was going to say, I'm not on a search and rescue team with you.
So I'm just going throughout the schedule for the rest of the weekend
Oh, that was a stretch.
for St. Petersburg. So tomorrow, the schedule for March 9th, you have starting at 8 a.m. is Indy Pro 2000, the second qualifying, which is going to be streaming on the Road to Indy.tv website. Then you have from 8:30 to 9 the Indy Lights second qualifying, Road to Indy TV and IndyCar Radio. 10:25 to 11:10 is IndyCar's third practice, which will be on NBC Sports Gold and IndyCar Radio. And then you have 11:25 to 12:05 the Indy Pro 2000 Race 2 will be going down, again on Road to Indy.tv. 12:20 to 1 is going to be USF 2000's Race 2, again on Road to Indy.tv. Then at 1:15 to 2:15, you'll have the Indy Lights Race 1, which will be streaming on NBC Sports Gold. Now, from 2:30 to 4, you have the IndyCar Series qualifying, which will be on, they have NBC Sports Network, NBC Sports Gold, IndyCar Radio, you can hear it on. Will be the schedule for Saturday, tomorrow, March 9th. And then Sunday, race day, you will have a IndyCar Series warm-up on NBC Sports Gold from 9:20 to 9:50. And then 10:05 to 11:05 is going to be Indy Lights Race 2, and that's going to be streaming on NBC Sports Gold. And then 1:30, the green flag will fly for the NTT IndyCar Series Firestone GP of St. Petersburg on NBC Sports Network. Is how Sunday will go down.
Jam-packed week, man. Jam-packed weekend of some great racing. I mean, we've already seen some great racing out of USF 2000 and whatever Pro Mazda is called now.
Indy Pro 2000.
Whatever.
You know what it's called.
I refuse to learn it because it's a dumb name. Hashtag RTI. I'm finally getting used to that, though. So maybe there's still hope for me for Pro Mazda's new name. But for right now, it'll be Pro Mazda's. Anyways. Excuse me. So,
well, speaking of which, just to run
go
down
ahead.
the USF 2000, they did have their race 1, and the podium for race 1 for USF 2000 was Braden Eves, Manuel Salaman, and Hunter McElray.
Oh, yeah. ICP
yes.
Juice getting them on the podium.
So he made the podium in his first race, so congratulations to Hunter.
And this is a man who came from Aussie, the home of the Upside Down Whopper. And he has never raced on a street course before surrounded by concrete. So for him to do as well as he did on a flat street course, that just shows you why he was the Mazda scholarship winner, and he's racing that beautiful Mazda Soul Red, you know?
And then in the Indy Pro 2000, a.k.a. Pro Mazda, Parker Thompson was your winner from pole. Yes, he stayed in first, took the pole, and took first place here for Able Motorsports, the new team. So he's taken them to the front. And then you had Rasmus Lynn and Stingray Robb was the rest of your podium for the Indy Pro 2000 Race 1 today.
Yeah, I'm really happy that, RTI is opening up the series to, sea life. It's awesome. Can't wait for the new Dolphin driver to come in.
So bad.
Robbie Dolphin looks really good. What do you think, Marty?
You got me lost on that one, man.
Wow, way to run with a bit. A bad bit, but a bit nonetheless. You never know where a bad bit will take you. That's where the gold is, Marty.
So speaking of, but rest of St. Petersburg, if you haven't already signed up for the Fantasy IndyCar, you can join our fantasy league by going to our website at www.theindysportscarpodcast.com and just click on the tab that says ISCP Rivals, and that will take you to our Fantasy IndyCar League to join.
Yep.
And I worked very hard on our website, so it looks awesome now. So you should check it out. Yeah.
It's beautiful, Missy.
Thank you.
Missy, you did an awesome job. You really did. I mean, what better website could you possibly have to where when you open it up, what do you see? The beautiful yard of bricks. Come on now. Come on. I mean, it's the best wallpaper of a website ever made. Period. And Missy did that. That's a high five moment, Missy.
It
Boom.
is.
There you go. Marty, high five over into Wisconsin land. There you go.
High five. There you go, buddy.
Yeah. So, Marty, when you joined the ICP Rivals, did you use the website or what method did you use? Because there's a few different methods you can use. I'm just curious.
Actually, what I did was I went to their individual website and added it that way. Went through my phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah, and it's a new website this year, right? Right, Marty and Missy?
Yeah, fantrax.com.
Yeah.
And that's spelled FANTRAX.
I mean, is it still accessible just like it always was through the IndyCar app and all?
Oh yeah, if you go to IndyCar's website and go to fan shop. Is that what? Wait, no. No, fan info. If you go to fan info on their website and go to fantasy racing, it will take you to there.
Rock on. Okay,
It
was
cool.
pretty painless.
Yeah, it's always been. I wonder why they used a new website. But wait till we get to the lowdown because it's a bit different and wowzers, is it wacky? Okay. So anyway, as far as IndyCar goes, is there any? Okay. So let's wrap up a little bit. Let's wrap up USF 2000 Pro Mazda Indy Lights of St. Pete. Then we'll wrap up our predictions for IndyCar St. Pete. Missy, what do you think?
That's all. I mean, we already really wrapped up
Well,
Indy Lights Indy Pro 2000 and USF 2000.
I just wanted to gloat more about Parker.
Okay.
I am so
Well,
happy
about
for
that.
Parker. Okay, moving on.
Hopefully, it leads to more than just this race. Because
Well-
right now he's just St. Petersburg, but hopefully, I mean,
It
putting it on first place, top of the podium should help get more races.
with a brand new team. Even this kid, that's a sign of a great racer. He can jump into any car, any team, whether he's familiar or not, and he can put screamers down and lead an entire field. That's, you know what I mean? That's talent, and he's got miles of it. He just has terrible, terrible luck. He really does. But our hopes for Parker to definitely definitely turn this into a full-time ride. So,
Well, if he keeps putting on a show like he did today, I don't think the team or sponsors are going to want to keep him off the track.
that's what I'm saying, man. But he's got terrible luck. But you know what? He always seems to come through last minute. So #A-Team, spelled EHTEAM, because I'm illiterate, so I've been putting down the wrong hashtag for the last days, but I got it right finally. Thanks, Derek. Set me straight on that one. Derek Sutter. Me and him, Team A-Team. He even walks around with Team A-Team hats. Love it. So, yeah. And right after Parker's win, about 5 minutes, I DM'd him. Great job. Now go do it again. and talk to me when you're done. He laughed. It was a joke. So, I mean, obviously, I wasn't serious. Of course, it was a joke. Everything I say is a joke. I'm hardly ever serious. So, Missy, do you think he's going to do it?
Parker, of course.
Yeah, I have no doubts. I honestly, Ray, there is not a bead of sweat on this brow thinking about it. Marty?
No, I think he's fantastic. He's definitely the class of the field when it comes to the Indy Pro 2000.
I mean, he is the class of hashtag RTI. Period. I mean, Parker is a class act. If class acts, you know, if class acts was in the dictionary, which it is, they should put Parker's picture right next to it. They don't, but they should. I would, if I owned a dictionary company. You know what I mean?
Just that there was a little bit of action, not action, but
Reaction?
no, in the USF
Equal and opposite?
2000.
Sorry.
In the USF 2000 race, I seen that Alex Barron was involved in a little contact, and he flew through the air and did a barrel roll in the air.
He did a barren roll?
Barrel roll.
Oh. Is he okay?
Yeah, he said he's okay. Showed a picture of his car in the air.
Maybe I
during the
should
roll,
have. Maybe I should have asked that before making a joke. Yep.
yes.
But I think I would have heard about him being severely hurt in that by now,
I
if
know,
he had.
he is okay though.
Well, that's good. These cars are extremely safe, man. I am so happy they went to these tightest cars, because I mean, who went flying through there last year in Toronto? Was that Keene? No, that was that was your boy, right, Marty? You from Wisconsin?
Lucas?
Wasn't it Lucas?
No.
No.
It wasn't Lucas.
Yeah, who went flying through there in Toronto? In Promazza.
I do not remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Well, I mean, we've had him on.
I know he was on the show too.
Yeah, well, and I even came up with a name for him. I think it was at Gateway, or Jared was with me, and I came up with a great name for him for that. But if I can remember his name, then I can remember the name I came up for him. Yep. Anyway, moving on.
It wasn't Daniel Frost, was it?
No. Gosh darn it. He was English. He's English, isn't he? Or Australian? He's Australian, I think. No, English. He's English. I want to say he's English. He had an accent.
Yeah, he was really tall too.
Yeah. And he called...
God, I can picture us talking to him at Gateway.
Yeah, and he called Chilton very push. He's very push. Which apparently it's like there's two type of Englishmen. There's push, posh, you know, like stuck up. And then there's your normal everyday Joe of, you know, your British fellow. Like Adrian, you know. Adrian definitely is not posh. Indycar UK and posh, no. Sorry, Adrian. You might think you are with your fancy schmancy, you know, corner cabinets that look really cool that you got from IKEA. But, you know, definitely not push. Even though I really like those cabinets.
Right, so moving on. So that is St. Petersburg is this weekend. So as we said, off season is over. So who's winning this weekend? No. Who's your sleeper pick for this weekend?
Marty, go first.
I'm going to let you take this one, Frank. I will.
Guests go first, Marty. It wasn't a question. It was a demand.
It was a demand.
No, I'm kidding.
So
I will go first.
Thank you.
My sleeper pick, Zach Beach, which I think I already mentioned earlier, but definitely I wouldn't be surprised if Zach Beach did very well here. At least a podium. Zach Beach, I'm going to call it. I'm putting my name on it. P1? No. P3? Maybe. And that rhymed. Missy, you?
Marcus Ericsson.
Ooh, going for the rookie from F1. You know what? You don't do 100 races in F1 if you suck. I don't care what team you drive for. Look at Rossi. He drove for the biggest POS team to ever take the grid in an F1 race. And Indy 500 winner and championship contender last year. Really coming into his own. Love me some Rossi lately. Really hope he, continues what he was doing last year into this year. How about it, Marty?
I'm gonna have to go with Felix.
Felix, ooh, is he then a sleeper?
I was just gonna say, okay, so it's kind of borderline if he's a sleeper or not, but he is a rookie, and he has won here before.
True.
But in an Indy Lights car.
And
but I think
every
that
other car he ever raced here, well, it was only one. But if this was another racetrack where he raced a lot of other cars at, that statement would have been true, but it's not.
I'm gonna have to go with Felix as a sleeper.
Judges, they're going to allow it. They're going to allow it because he's a rookie. That's the only reason.
Pole. Who you got for pole?
Will. I'm sorry. Was it my turn?
Yeah, sure.
Will. 8 out of 10.
I agree with that because I think he's won 7 of the last 9 polls here.
You don't think
in
you
the
know?
last 9 seasons.
You know 100% certainty. Don't act like, oh, I think 7 out of 9. My blonde hair's in my eyes. You know darn right well it's 7 out of 9, woman.
Did you just say?
Did I just treat you like you were a dumb blonde? Yes.
Wow. All right.
Well, you color it that way. You should be treated that way.
Okay. The show ends soon, you know.
It'll end when I click it off.
Yep.
Okay. Which is when you tell me, I know.
Which will be the silence that no one will hear you scream.
Wow. That's dark. I'm not going to sleep tonight now. Especially, well, maybe not in this house. Maybe I'll go to the... Never mind.
Anyway, Marty, who you got for pole?
I'm gonna go with Marco. Okay, I'm just kidding. That was
Marty,
I'm funny too, Frank.
There was some static. What?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Rossi with this one. As much as I'm just saying Rossi because I'm gonna have to go out from left field a little bit. I really truly feel in my heart of hearts it's gonna be Power. He's a beast, but I kind of got to be a little different. You know, I gotta.
You darn tootin', he's a beast.
He is a beast. But I'm gonna go with Rossi on this one.
Fair enough.
I like that one too.
I like it too, man. If I wasn't such a Will fanboy, I'd pick Rossi.
I just think this is it's gonna come down to the wire, man.
The what?
Harrison Scott.
The wire?
The wire.
I'm kidding. I love you Wisconsiners and how you talk. It's adorable. I mean, it's so almost Canadian, but not. Anyway, I mean, it's kind of like Coke Zero, where it's like, is this diet? Not really, but almost. Anyways, I can't believe I just compared Wisconsiners to Coke Zero. That's a first for me, and you know, there's not many more of those.
Harrison Scott was that guy's name?
Harrison Scott.
Yes.
Yeah. What about him?
That's who we were trying to think of his name earlier.
Harrison Scott. That's
Yes.
right. And I called him Harrison the Flying Scotsman.
Yes, you did.
He laughed. Thank God. I mean, I really went for broke on that. I'm like, he's either going to hate me for life or he'll think I'm funny. And thank goodness Jared was there too, because me and Jared are on the same wavelength of we love really bad jokes. I mean, we listen to Opie and Anthony every day. Well, Jimmy and Sam, that's what's left of Opie and Anthony. So, you know, bad jokes abound every 3 seconds on that show, and we love them. So Jared started laughing, and I think that helped, you know, Harrison realize it was funny. But if I was one-on-one, I don't think he would have laughed at that. I want to hope. I want to hope he would have, but my gut says it wasn't really funny to make fun of somebody flying through the air. It could have been scary for him, maybe. I don't know. He could be in therapy for it, for all I know. I'd be.
Okay.
But it was funny though, Marty, wasn't it?
And moving on.
All right. See, Marty's got
Who's winning St. Pete this year?
Oh, that's easy. But I'm going to let Marty go.
You want me to go?
I'm driving this ship. Row.
I'm going to go Pagano.
Ooh, nice pick. Simon Pagenaud back from the dead?
I think so. I think that if he can solve his qualifying woes from last year, his race pace was insane. I think that the way that he's takes care of his car,
Um,
he's technically sound. He's safe.
you know what?
I think, yeah.
He did show some race pace throughout the middle of the season there, but it got to the point where I think Simon knew he couldn't win the championship. I think he backed off a little bit those last couple races. What do you think? Because he showed some great pace, then all of a sudden he was just like mid-marker, staying clean, he wasn't pushing any issues. He just wasn't as like aggressive as a driver as we're used to seeing, and I think he was just doing that just to make sure he was bringing the car home in one piece. You know what I mean?
I mean, it makes sense.
I mean, and especially when you race for Penske, I mean, you don't want to lose that seat, so I would definitely come up with that strategy and say, you know, I'm not going to win this title. Why crash a car trying to not win it? And have him mad at me. Because of all the people in racing, I think Roger Penske looks like the number one man I don't want mad at me.
I think that's going to play in the hands of Pagenaud this year, actually. The fact that this could be his last year at Penske if he doesn't win. If he doesn't show
Really? You think
show
so?
a little bit more. I mean,
okay, hypothetical. If he bombs like he did last year, who do
He's
you
gone.
think might take his spot?
Rossi.
Really? Is it Rossi's last season contract?
Yeah, he's in last year under contract with Andretti. I mean, it's
That would be
it's
super to see him get away from Andretti.
it's no coincidence that he went over and drove the DPI for Penske. I mean, he's obviously got ties with Honda, but if the captain comes calling, man, you don't say no.
No, you do not. And you know what? Great pickup, Marty. I forgot he even did that, and that is a great thing to remember that happened, man. Missy, did you remember that Rossi race for Penske?
I mean, after Marty said it, yeah, I was like, oh yeah, he did.
Well, yeah, of course.
Because I thought it was a little bit of a surprise, but that he raced for Penske. But
I mean, I was a little shocked when Penske and Graham Rahal, they came out and said, "Hey, man, I'm a little too big to fit in the car," and then a guy the same size got in the car. I don't know. That was kind of.
If Graham could fit in a BMW GT or a GTLM, he could fit in a DPI. I mean, doesn't the Pumpkin fit in one?
He does.
Yeah, I mean, if Juan Pablo Montoya can squeeze his mayonnaise-soaked body through that hatch and into a DPI, I think Graham Rahal, there you go, Phil. I'll say it the way you think he says it. I've never heard him say, but whatever. I just think it's a funny way that you say it. So, but that's for you, Phil. Love you, buddy.
so continuing on.
Yeah, Graham, you're full of S.
Continuing on
BS,
back to
probably,
St. Pete.
Yep.
Who's winning?
Oh, Will.
Yeah, I know you.
Pole to podium, just like Parker.
I'm gonna stick with my answer last night on the show that didn't record, which was Alexander Rossi.
Again, a great pick. Great pick.
He's going for redemption for this race from last year.
Yeah. Well, Wickens learned a valuable lesson last year in St. Pete, man. Wickens had this race locked up. If he would have not left the door wide open, I think Wickens had this race. He really had the race pace to do it. What do you think, Missy?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And what a story that would have been. Wickens' first race, he wins it. You know? It was just awesome. And it was awesome to hear him talk there today. So, and I heard keep a lookout on social media for something I think tomorrow is scheduled with Robert. Or yeah, I think it's tomorrow.
For the GMA?
For Robert Wickens?
Yeah, the interview they did on TV.
No, it's not an interview.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. I mean, I loosely heard it from somebody. I can't remember who I heard it from, but I think Yeah.
He announced a couple things he was doing this weekend at St. Pete. I think he was going to be at an autograph session.
Oh yeah. Like he's definitely going to be meeting the fans. He's doing, talks and everything. But there's one special thing he's going to be doing that I heard, but I don't want to say what it is because I'm not 100% sure if I'm correct in what I heard. So just keep an eye on Robert Wicken's Twitter. That's all I'm going to say, which you always should anyway. But just be actually, looking at it. And if it does happen, what I think I heard, it's going to be pretty amazing.
All right.
I think Jared told me so,
that,
and he's down there. So
that wraps up St. Pete that's going down this weekend.
wait, no,
so super excited to.
Did Marty say he was going to win? I'm sorry.
Simon Pageant.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry, Marty.
That's okay. I'm a nobody.
No. I have terrible short-term memory.
Terrible.
Long-term memory, I'll never forget what you said like 10 years ago. But what you just said, I have no clue. But it'll come back to me like in 5 years.
So that's what's going down for St. Pete this weekend. So it should be exciting racing. I can't wait. Finally, the off season is over.
What's the support series? Is there a support series with that? Is PWC with them this week like they were last year? I haven't heard anything.
No, it's
I mean, is that Mazda MX-5 Cup there?
Well, there is someone else with them. I just skipped over their schedule
Oh,
when I read off the schedule.
you open wheel snob. I should talk how much crap I talk on him anymore.
It is there you go. SRO America's GT4 and touring car classes.
Oh yeah, that's a great series I never heard of.
Yeah.
Yep.
I skipped over their schedule.
Definitely do not miss a race I've never seen. Marty, have you ever seen anything from them?
No, I haven't.
It's GT, so it's sports
a good time
cars.
to find out.
Hey, it's sports cars, and it can't be much, unmemorable than PWC. So definitely stick around and watch some GT cars race around St. Pete. Because bottom line, it's racing, folks. And GT racing is a lot of fun, as long as the series gets the BOP correct. IMSA. Anyway. Okay, so what's next on the agenda? And by the way, I just want to throw out there, we didn't mention it last week, but do you know the first race of the F1 season is next weekend in Australia?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe when I saw that today. I went, really? What are you trying to take our thunder for? Back off. You couldn't start till April? Really? And then I looked at the schedule for the last 10 years. I went, oh, this is normal.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, but that's okay. 12 days from now is COTA. I can't believe it's so early in the season. I thought COTA would be later in the season when I heard it was going to be a race. I got to be honest. I'm a little bit disappointed it's so early because March is such a hard month to get away from work and everything,
Yeah.
It's so
but
close
it's
to
Texas.
Not to mention, it's such a questionable time with weather too for Texas.
the.
You
Yeah,
never really know what you're going to
heard
get.
that. It's like their only wet season, right? Or is it wind? That's the
No, I
problem.
think I think that is their wet season.
I mean, they have a very short one, but isn't it like half a month? And like, it's March, the beginning of it. I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist, but I bet you the guys at racecastweather.com knows. So if you want to ask them, go over there and find them on Twitter and give them a shout out. Ask them when COTA's wet season is. They'll tell you. I guarantee it. You know why? Because they're meteorologists. That's what they do. Predict Texas. What? No, that's not what they do. The one guy is from Texas, though.
Anyway, moving on.
Or is it Alabama?
I think
No,
we should be
Alaska.
wrapping this up soon. Like,
Okay, so
Yeah.
low down for the showdown time.
mm,
Missy's track facts, do-dum-doo. And Mulcher track facts, ba-doo-doo. Because Mulcher is also doing a version of Missy's track facts. Patent pending, of course. We're going through litigation next week. I'm kidding, Dave. I'm kidding. You know, I mean, he touched on a few things Missy didn't touch on, but Missy touched on a few more things than you didn't, buddy. Just want to throw that out there. You might want to study up on somebody who knows what they're doing last years.
oh my god, whatever. So the
And
last
David,
couple of years,
nothing but a joke, but I would definitely tweet this to you and let you know.
So we'll just go the usual. You know, it's a 1.8 mile, 14 turn street course, which incorporates streets of downtown St. Petersburg and a section of runway for the Albert Whitehead Airport. It's it's a temporary course. Let's see what else we got here. I mean, I already said a couple of the other interesting things, you know, about the tires, how many tires everyone's getting, 7 sets of primaries. The rookies are getting 8, 4 alternates. Hopefully they won't need any rain tires.
And they come in pairs of 4, right?
Usually, yeah.
Right on.
So your average lap speed for last year was 86.207. In 2017, your average lap speed was 95.391.
Who and who said that? I still can't believe that.
95?
Oh no, you said the fastest time ever set here.
Oh, the qualifying lap record last year was Jordan King.
Yeah, you believe that? I was shocked to hear that. I really was.
So 2016, your average lap speed was 89.006. And 2015, your average lap speed was 86.735 was your average lap speed.
Right on.
So.
And what was the total overall lap speed? Was that the total overall lap speed for the race?
Yeah.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
And as far as Indy rivals go, Missy, what's everybody worth? And this is where it gets Twilight Zone era, guys. So buckle in.
Buckle in, huh?
There is the 5th dimension, beyond that which is known to man, where Marco Andretti is considered one of the top 5.
So, coming in first at $33, you had Scott Dixon. $30, you have Alexander Rossi. $29, you have Will Power. Coming in at $28, you have Joseph Newgarden and Ryan Hunter-Ray. Coming in at $26, you have Marco Andretti and Simon Pagenaud.
I mean, that's a little insulting. How are you going to put Marco with
Yeah, that's what
Simon?
I said. Yeah,
This was our
That's real
conclusion.
questionable.
Was our conclusion. They look back on the data of the last 3-4 years, and they see Marco picked all the time. And they scratch their heads and they go, why? And it's because of his last name. So they figure, if they're going to keep picking him, we might as well just make him a lot of money. And it's smart, to be honest with you. It makes him more competitive. Because he's been always in the teens, or at the very best, low 20s. So he was always affordable as well. So,
I'm not
And
wasting my money.
I'm okay. Continue. I'm sorry. I just have a couple issues with the.
no.
I
Go
had
right
issues
ahead.
with
No.
it last night.
Marty, go right ahead. Say whatever's on your mind, buddy.
That's okay. I'll let Missy continue because I don't want to spill the beans
Of what?
of the other
Okay,
dollar
go ahead.
amount. So I
Go
apologize,
ahead.
Missy.
So coming in at $25, you have Sebastian Bourdais, Zach Beach, and James Hinchcliffe. $24, you have Graham Rahal and Takuma Sato. Felix Rosenquist is coming in at $23. $22, you have Spencer Piggott and Ed Jones. $21, you have Marcus Ericsson, Matthias Lace, and Tony Kanaan. Coming in at $20, you have Max Chilton and Charlie Kimball. $19 you have Jack Harvey. $18 you have Santino Ferrucci and Colton Herta.
Yep.
And then coming in
I agree with
at
that last one.
$17 is Ben Handley.
Yeah, the last three, couldn't agree more. I'm right there with you, buddy. They nailed that one. It's like, listen, if you barely got any money, you're just stuck. Throw a dart at any of them. You ain't going to get nothing out of them.
I'm real disappointed in the fact that they got $25 for Bourdais. I mean, this is Sebastian Bourdais. He's a beast.
See, I'm okay
He
with
used to be.
Bourdais' price.
Yeah.
At this track, I think that it should be.
Sebastian Bourdais has a lot to prove to me this year, man. After last year, Sebastian Bourdais, it really seemed like he took a few steps back last year, especially when Ed Jones passed him on the inside at Gateway and made him crash, just because he passed him on the inside of turn 2. That's all he did. It was shocking. It was nothing. It just, oh God, oops. I mean, but he was in that bad accident, and sometimes it takes you a little bit to get that edge back. So you know what? I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and he's, I'm just going to be keeping a close eye on him this year and seeing if it was just a fluky dookie year, and he just needed a year to get back into the swing of things. That's all. Or was he out a little bit last year? Or was that the year before?
That was the year before.
Okay. See what I mean? Just mush head over here. I cannot separate seasons. Too many seasons, Marty. Marty, I need you to take over for a while, dude. I need to just relax, reflect, just reflect on everything. Missy, she's good because she's got a really good head on her shoulders. Me, not so much. And you're doing great, man. So you can take my job. I'm gonna take like a month off. I'm gonna go to some races, enjoy myself. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm gonna go to some races and enjoy myself with you. So,
right.
Fine, sir.
I didn't think the top guys were surprising. I mean, the contenders for the championship last year. I mean, the championship winner, Scott Dixon at the top, Alexander Rossi,
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
the Indy 500 winner last year, Will Power. I mean, Joseph Newgarden, I'm okay with.
I'm not. I would like to say I'm not okay with Joseph Newgarden where he's at. He does not deserve that spot after what he did last year. He was subpar at best last year. He could not find his footing.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on with Newey. Maybe he needs to come float down back to earth a little bit, and I hope he did last year. And we'll see this year if he's the Newgarden we all knew and loved the year before.
I mean, I think Ryan Hunter-Reay is a little pricey at $28.
I don't. Ryan Hunter-Reay is definitely worth that.
He hasn't shown much recently.
He's in an Andretti car that constantly breaks down. It's not his fault.
He also does make quite a few mistakes, though, too. Crashing into things drivers and walls.
He did win one of the Detroit races last year. But before that, when was the last race before that?
Barber, he placed P2.
No, I said win.
Oh, win?
When's the last win before?
It was like 3
Detroit.
years.
It's been a couple. Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
He had the worst luck any driver ever had, other than Will Power with Tim Cindric.
Yeah, again, still ain't worth $28 in my book.
Losses. What?
Still ain't worth $28 in my book.
He's worth $28 in my book because a mechanical failure is not a driver error.
Hey, that's not going to get you points in this Indy Fantasy League.
No, but you can't predict it either.
I need producers.
Marty.
I'm with Missy. I
team.
can't back on this, dude. I can't back on that one. I need someone that's not going to crash into things like other drivers and walls.
Yeah.
Okay, who's the last driver Ryan Hunter-Reay ran into?
Man, why you got to put me in a spot like that, dude? But I know for sure he hit the wall at Toronto.
Oh, but not a driver.
Another street course.
But not a driver. He hit a wall.
Correct.
Your story is unraveling very quickly, Marty.
Thank you. I appreciate you putting me on the spot like that. Yeah, I should retract that running into drivers.
I'll go as far as put Ryan Hunter-Reay as arguably the best top 5 to 7 drivers in this series. That's how good he is. championship winner,
I
Indy
put him
500
closer to
winner.
7, but okay.
Yeah, that's why I said top 7, top 5. Arguably was my.
But luck, you put yourself in position to have luck or not to have luck.
How does flat
But what about
tires,
all the other
blown
times that you
transmissions,
finished races, right?
okay, in the rain in P2? Go on.
Okay, well, then Alexander Rossi races for the same team.
Right, and his transmission didn't blow up like
Yeah.
4 races
And
in a
it's
row.
the same team.
Right.
Oh,
It's the same transmission too.
yeah.
So, what's your point?
Again, he's too risky. I can't put him on my fantasy. We're
Do
talking
you
about
really?
no. We
what
are
is
talking.
he up and down
We
shifting
are
too violently?
talking about him having a spot on your fantasy team. I don't recall, Frank, that you picked him last year on your fantasy team since you're all high and mighty on him
Yes,
all of a
I
sudden.
did.
No, you
Especially after I had an interview with him at
didn't.
Barber.
You did not.
Go back to the tapes, honey.
You sly
Bunches
like
of
a
oats.
cheap rug.
I lie like a cheap rug. Well, you,
And I
You
got a problem
fly
with Marco
like a,
Andretti being $26. He doesn't deserve, $26, and I wouldn't waste my money on $26 for him.
well, that's why they put him there since
Sign
everybody was
Pagano,
wasting
I'm
money
okay.
last year.
I guess he bought it. He bought his car this year, so I guess you can buy a little extra couple dollars on his,
Marco
be priced as a
Andretti,
fantasy
team
team.
owner / driver. So weird to say that.
And
so little talked about.
I got
for some
issue
reason.
with Zach Veach being $25. I don't think he deserves that.
You're way off base with that one, ma'am.
No, I'm not.
No, he's
Tell
definitely
tell
worth
me what
$25.
Zach Veach did to be worth $25.
Another
year.
full-time ride this year and last year, and
And
if there was ever
And?
odds stacked against
Marco
a driver,
Andretti's had a full-time ride last year and this year. What's your point?
Oh, I'm sorry. Was Zach Veach's father like a legendary IndyCar driver and owned
Don't
6
matter.
cars?
You just said Zach Veach. The reason he deserved to be $25 is because he got a full-time ride last year and this year.
Right.
So
and
does
Marco's
Marco
had the full
Andretti.
and Marco's had a full-time ride for like 37 years because Daddy kept paying for it.
And
His if
no,
you put
your
his
point,
career,
your
if
point
you put Marco's
boiled
career
down to
against
Zach Veach has a full-time ride.
against 20 other drivers,
That's
that
why
we
he
know are
deserves to be
better,
$25.
it's miles apart.
No.
And Marco still got the ride. Only reason, Dad. And maybe, just maybe, why would Marco waste his money and buy his own car if Dad said, listen, buddy, I gave you so many chances. I can't keep throwing money out the window and watching it catch on fire. I like to
Like
spend
Zach
it.
Veach does.
Ooh, nice one. That's a high five.
Yeah, that's right.
Nice one. That's a good one.
He still ain't $25 though, but
Yes, he is.
no, he's not.
It's not his fault he catches on freaking fire.
Hey,
Again, I will never chalk up a mechanical failure to a driver's talent level. Unless
to be
he
on my
blows-
fantasy team, you gotta be reliable, and you have.
okay,
you gotta
so then-
prove to me you are
Amen.
reliable.
So your Indy Rivals team is more the car than the driver now. Is that what you're saying? Or is it a combination of both?
it's a combination of both.
Fair enough. Moving on.
So Zach Veach ain't
So
worth no $25 to me.
Yes, he is.
James
On a good day, he is.
Hinchcliffe?
On a good day without any mechanical errors, is he?
No.
You're
No,
full
depends
of...
on the track. How about that? Depends on the track.
Okay, depends on the track.
Ovals? No. Not a chance.
He's won on an oval. I made that up. I don't know that for a fact.
I would actually feel comfortable on a like Road America or
Street. Are you a road
Yeah.
course? Yeah.
road course street. I don't know. I mean, today
I
he
think
did
Road
put it in the tire
America
barrier.
is a bit,
Just saying.
I think Road America is a bit too physically demanding for him to win.
He's put on a lot of weight this year, man. He's looking good.
Has he? How many
Yeah.
pounds? Like 5?
I don't know. They were talking like 10 pounds.
Ooh.
That's a lot for
I
a dude that
lost
weighs
that
like
around
17.
3 p.m. this afternoon. I
Didn't
mean,
he weigh less than Danica last year?
oh, wow, Missy.
What?
Hitting below the belt.
It was a fact. What do you mean? Or he was around the same weight as her. They talked about it.
You know what? You shouldn't bring that up unless you have exact numbers. Otherwise, that's just speculation, and that means you're throwing shade. And I won't stand you throwing
I'm
shade at
already
Zach
throwing
Beach.
shade. I already threw shade at Zach Beach. I'm sorry, he's not $25 material to me.
He better be one of your fantasy picks, Frank.
No, he's not.
I could have
I
told
called
you
him a
that.
sleeper pick. He ain't going on my fantasy. Come on now. He catches on
Oh,
fire.
oh.
He catches on fire all the time,
All
dude.
this stuff you're throwing around about the greatness, and then
Oh
all of a
my
sudden now
God.
he's not good
You-
enough
you
for your fantasy
hypocrite.
team.
Because he catches on fire all the time.
But he's had a full-time ride last year, this year.
He has, but he catches on fire.
But you can't blame mechanical failures on the driver.
I just literally became the biggest hypocrite on the show. Oh my goodness. Zach,
Right.
I love you. I really do, man. But will you please stop becoming the Human Torch out there? Please. For the love of God, I do not need to see another livery of flames just to hide the ones you keep having. Or an inside joke. I don't know which one. Or it could be both. Who knows? There could have been more incidents we just don't know about.
So just moving down the list, I guess. James Hinchcliffe is $25.
He deserves to be higher.
Absolutely.
No.
At least $2. He deserves to be at least, at the very least tied with Marco. Come on now.
Yeah, he should be at least 6.
Yeah,
I mean, just for the fact that it's a street
multiple
course.
race winner. Okay, so he did technically get the pole at Indy once. That doesn't count. But multiple race winner, James Hinchcliffe is a great driver. And when he
Yes,
has an
James is a good
extremely
driver.
fast car, faster than anyone else, he can put that thing on pole in Indy too.
So then moving on, you have Ray Hall and Takuma at 24. I'm okay with Ray Hall.
I'm
Takuma
not.
Sato,
right.
I could drop him a couple bucks.
He won the 500.
And
But the 500 is not a street course.
So, touche.
I mean,
So, and what'd you say about Graham? You could lower him, or you're okay?
I'm okay with him at 24. I would drop
No.
Takuma Sato a couple bucks down.
I would put Graham more like in 19 area until he proves until he proves he can go at least 3 races without taking out the top 5.
Dude, you were gonna put Graham like near.
Ferrucci, yes.
Wow.
Ferrucci takes people out. Graham's been taking people out. They're like the same driver, just one's hated a little bit more by most than others. Yeah, or me personally, I should say.
So I'm okay with Felix Rosenquist at $23. I'm okay with that.
He'll be 23 for 1 week.
Mm.
Come Coda, he'll be in the 26, 27.
Spencer Piggott, Ed Jones. I'm okay with them at 22.
I'm not okay with Ed Jones at 22. He should be at least 25.
No. I like Ed.
I think
Ed,
he had an off year,
but-
dude. I will say that. I think he's
Yeah.
getting a lot of
Yeah.
shade from having to be Dixon's teammate last year.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean,
But-
jeez. I mean, and
He's still not worth
he-
$25 right now.
he didn't.
Correct.
He didn't make a wrong move in that car till Detroit race 2. Come on.
I'm not taking it from him. Again, I think he's okay at $22. At 25, you're out of your mind.
Okay, and who's he paired up with? Who's he surrounded by? And you're going to tell me that he's on their level?
Spencer, he's with
Well, Piggott.
Felix Rosenquist.
No, he's not.
Piggott.
He's higher than Piggott.
No, he's not. He's the same price.
No, as far as level goes,
Um,
you cannot. You're not about to argue this with me.
again,
No.
I'm okay with Ed Jones being at 22.
How?
I'm okay with it.
How? Why? Give me
Erickson,
one good reason.
I'm okay
Give me
with
one
being
good
at
reason,
20.
and I'll let you go with it.
Matthias Lace, I could drop him down a couple bucks.
He should be last at like
21.
17.
Tony Kanaan, I think he should be higher.
Very much so.
Only because
That's
it's
an
Tony
insult.
freaking Kanaan.
Exactly.
I mean, his name is enough for me with that.
TK should never be below like 25-ish. I would say.
And I mean, Max
Marty?
Chilton, Charlie Kimball.
I'm actually bothered by that. I'm really bothered by the Marco thing, and it bothers me even more now that we get lower down the list because you've
Yeah.
got TK. How many spots below Marco?
He's $5 cheaper.
$5 cheaper, so that's at least like what 9 drivers, 8 drivers.
I mean, I don't that bothers me. But hey, for fantasy purposes, I mean, you could have a really good lineup based off of the people that they messed up on price. You
Yeah.
know,
I mean, bottom line, look, I'm pretty sure Marco's that high solely based on the amount of times he was picked last year. That's it. Because he was cheap every race. And you always needed somebody that's cheap. And Marco always held that maybe he could this time.
Not for me.
Well, or he also had the I know that name. Okay? I mean, not everybody is us, guys. Okay? I mean, I would say the majority is not, like, as informed as we are, you know? They see an Andretti, they think, he must be good. He's an Andretti. They're mistaken, but they'll find out soon enough. However, so many new fans have been coming back race by race by race that, you know, I think fantasy looked at it and said, we need to curve this thing, so let's make them expensive and see if they still pick them. And I wonder what the percentages will be, because he was high last year every race, and I bet you he'll probably be, I would say, a quarter lower than what he was last year now, because of his nobody's going to pay $26 for him. I mean, unless he wins a race somehow without a pitch strategy, fluke or Duke like Danica. That doesn't count in my book.
So the rest of the drivers, I think I'm okay with the rest of the drivers and their prices. I guess if we're stopping at $17.
Yeah, and isn't that weird? They don't go down to 13 anymore. 17's the bottom. That's weird. And who's 17 again?
Ben Hanley.
And he's the five.
rookie.
He's the 5 race guy, right?
Yeah, for Dragon Speed.
So basically, just soaking up points other people need. Great.
Wow.
Thanks for
I
coming
highly
over.
doubt he's going to be soaking up points.
You never know.
True. But I highly doubt he's going to be soaking up points.
Same thing with Kimball, soaking up points other people need for championships. Well, then again, maybe not.
He may be taking people out for championships.
That's another thing I was about to say, but you know what? I've beaten that thing to death. Like, you know, Will Power, Watkins Glen. He was right there until...
We got it. So there you go.
Whoopsies.
okay, I do have another problem,
Go ahead.
and I'm sorry to bring
Go
this
ahead.
up again, but
No. Don't ever...
Colton Herta
Yes.
at 18, and then you've got Pato at
No, he can't. He
Pato's not on
can't.
here.
He's not on this.
Pato's not racing
He's not.
this weekend.
He's not racing there.
is that why they have it
Yeah.
set that way?
Yes.
Yeah. So all the rest of the drivers after Ben Hanley are all 15 because none of them are racing in this race.
So if
Okay.
there's a $15 driver, guys, don't pick him
Yes.
this week.
Do not pick. Do not pick that driver. They are
Yeah.
not racing. With the little X next to their name, they are not racing in the current race.
Sunday they will be swimming in their in-ground pool, not swimming in their sweat in their car. Oh, you see how I did that?
But that will
That
be
was
interesting to see for
bad.
next week, Marty. Just throwing that out there.
He's gonna have to be in my book at
25.
minimum
What do you think?
22, 23.
Okay, that's more
Instantly, I think.
conservative. I mean, 25 is like a personal thing, but
I mean, I could agree
22,
with that if
definitely.
if you got
Yeah.
Mateus Lace, Tony Kanaan, and Marcus Erickson at 21,
Mateus Lace is the
Chilton
biggest problem.
and Kimball at
almost.
20.
Yeah,
So-
I think Mateus Lace is almost the biggest problem. Other than Marco on this list, Mateus Lace should be right about 18. I'm sorry. What has he
I
done?
would drop him a couple bucks down too. Yeah.
Because last year I didn't expect. I expected zip from him because I didn't get anything out of him the year before in Indy Lights. I didn't expect anything out of him in IndyCar, and he was a rookie. I really didn't know what to expect. You know, the only thing I expected was from him to maybe get a haircut. I was wrong. I think I haven't seen him lately, but he seems like the guy that not to cut it by yet, or maybe he did. I don't know. Did he? Can we get confirmation on his hair?
No, I really don't care about that.
Me neither. It was a joke, actually.
So-
If you actually pulled up a website that showed his hair from yesterday, I would praise you for being
So
like.
there you have it. The prices and what we
But
don't
does
agree with.
Well, hold on. Does anybody else agree with me here? Should Mateus Lace be in the teens?
I already said, yeah, I think he could be dropped a couple bucks.
Yeah, he could definitely be dropped to. I definitely
Well,
Ferrucci
no,
is
yeah,
is
no,
better.
but that then led me into I didn't expect anything from him last year. This year, though, he's a sophomore, second-year driver. Now is the time where he's going to be critiqued on what he does or does not do. And I'll be honest with what I say. Last year, because Christian used to tear me a new one every other week, saying, you're tearing this guy, you're tearing that guy. Why do you never tear Mateus Lace apart? And it's simple. I didn't expect anything from him, and that's what I got. I don't know what to expect from him, so how can I expect anything? But now I know what to expect, or I know what I should expect, and I think I know what I'm going to get, unless things change at Foyt. And
So
with
did you
him,
make your picks?
yeah, I did actually.
Did you?
Yeah, I just got to bring up my phone.
I'm surprised.
Did you made your picks?
Of course I did.
Marty, you make your picks?
I haven't locked him in yet.
Well,
I
okay.
wanted to see what you were going to do to
No.
gauge what I was going to do, because I
No.
want to beat you, of course.
Negative. You got to lock him in now, just like I am. Missy, who'd you pick?
Yeah, of course you had me go first because I'm already
Well,
locked
I
in.
have to bring mine in. I mean, pull mine up. I mean,
I went with Felix Rosenquist, Marcus Ericsson, Will Power, and Sebastian Bourdais.
that is a strong lineup. And how did you do that?
$2 left over. How about that?
You had leftover money?
Dang right it did.
You had FU money after?
Sure did.
Wow.
And I went with the average lap speed of 91.120.
And this is at the time, guys, that you pause the show, you go back to your fantasy lineup, and you get very close to that speed. Because this woman has a 7-year average figured out. So it's right about 89 to 92.
I'm going with not a lot of cautions.
Anyways, Marty, you have yours. Okay, hold on. Let's critique. I can't critique your picks, Missy. They're dead on. They're very deep in talent wise. Apparently not very pricey somehow, and that is a great lineup that I'm going to copy. With one minor change, maybe, which is the average speed, because I don't want to tie you. No, I'm kidding. Marty, who'd you pick, buddy? You got him up yet?
Yeah, I'm going Simon
I
Pagenaud.
can't change after you announce it on the show now. You know that.
Yeah,
I know.
Now that is a rule, dude. Once you say
Okay.
it on the air, it's locked in. No, none of this changing after quals, which I hope this new website fixes that snafu.
I highly doubt it, but I would like to see that because that ticks me off.
It is a trigger of mine.
Whatever.
It should not. It's cheating. Sorry, it's cheating. You're a
So go ahead, continue,
big
Marty.
fat
Sorry.
cheater.
I've got Simon Pagenaud, Felix Rosenquist, Spencer Piggott, and Will Power.
Okay.
I
like
like it all but one. Like it all but one, but hey,
And which one is that? Spencer?
No.
Yes.
Spencer's been on the show. He likes that.
No, Spencer.
You're a liar.
Oh, I swear to God, I wouldn't have picked Spencer.
I was just going based off of just the way he's shown up this weekend.
Fair enough. What has he done?
Well, he's currently P2 in the last practice session, so
Yeah, but I thought we kind of discussed like the last practice session wasn't really like a throw your screamers down and put your thing down kind of practice.
well, I think it was a pre-qualifying practice session.
What?
I
So
think
that would be
I
the
think-
opposite of what I just said.
Well, I know, but I think that a lot of guys were putting down some screamer laps or trying to put down some screamer laps to try and see what the car is going to do for tomorrow's practice with the red tires they put on yesterday. Well, today actually.
Fair enough. So
You didn't pick, did you?
Yes, I did.
Well, it's taking you an awful long time to get that up on your phone.
That's because
What's your
it's-
average lap speed there,
it's
Marty?
not like letting me sign in. Because
I don't have an average lap speed, Missy.
You need to pick one.
I'm prepared, Marty. I'm prepared.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and lock in a number there, Martin. Do you hate that name, by the way? I'm just curious. Because I personally hate the name Francis, and it to me Martin would be not on the same level but close.
No, it's okay. You can call me Martin if you'd like.
I think you're lying.
I am actually.
I knew it. Because Martin's a pretty dumb name. I'm kidding. Francis is worse. Come on, dude. I always have to go Francis with an I so they don't think I'm a woman, even though I don't look a thing like one. But they still ask, is that with an I? And I just look at them like, I don't know. Does my goatee tip it off, or do I have to answer that? And they just look at me and I go, yes, it's an I. Because I say all that in my head before I say, yes, it's an I. Yep. And I am unable to sign into my account.
You gotta be kidding me. Come on.
Oh, okay, look. It's going to be willpower. It's going to be like a Scott Dixon-ish. It's going to be a Zach Vici. And I'm going to throw in a Ed Jonesy. And my average speed will be whatever yours is minus 0.01. And I might have some money left over.
0.120?
No,
I don't know if anyone's
minus
ever noticed
0.01.
Yeah.
That would be me being one less of a hundredth than you.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's ever noticed that my average lap speed always ends in 0.120 for the past 3 years.
Oh my God, that's going to screw up my normal. Oh no. Okay, so it's 91.019. That's what I have to do because, yeah, for the last however many years we've been doing that, whatever my first two numbers are,
You do it backwards.
or three numbers, yeah, I do it backwards after the decimal point
Because my last is
because I'm adorable.
0.120. That's always my average lap speed. 0.120 the last three.
Fair enough. Marty, you got a speed yet, or did you pick one?
I'm gonna go 90.1.
$1, Bob. $90.1, Bob.
0.101.
Ooh, you threw in a thousandth there just for extra measure. Very smart, sir. Very smart. Even though it requires you to put three numbers after the decimal point. So nice try.
Well, there's another zero after that.
What? You put 4? What's the point? I mean, it's okay. So 0.
All right.
Was
We need to
that
wrap
10,000th?
We definitely need to wrap this up. I'm pretty sure we're going way over.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So
where are we
I think
at
we're going
anyway?
to promote our...
We're at hour 30. Okay.
So yeah, we need to wrap this up.
Marty, thank you for coming on, man. This was a blast, dude.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome.
You need to come prepared though next time, Marty. The average
Yeah,
lap.
yeah.
I'm
I mean,
kidding.
I mean, there are some areas you're weak, but there's a lot of areas you're strong at for your first time. That you have natural talent at podcasting, so you really do.
Oh, well, thank you guys. I very much appreciate it. You guys are awesome, and I'm glad that I didn't ruin the show.
No, you did, dude. You didn't interrupt like I always do.
No, Frank does it every time.
You didn't go way off topic like I always do. I sound better, so I got you on that. But that's because I've had 5 years and to mess with this mic and already screw up a show this week. You haven't. Now you haven't screwed up a podcast in the last 24 hours. I have. So you got me on that. But however, I have had an award introing my show. Who's introing your show that you don't have?
So you can find all of our good
Touche,
stuff.
Frank. Touche.
Love you, Marty, man.
So, okay.
And can't wait. Are you going to be a barber?
If I can talk my wife into it.
Oh boy, well, we couldn't even talk or anything on
Missy.
here, so Missy, you gotta jump on that because we'll be there. Yeah.
So you can find all our good stuff at www.theindysportscarpodcast.com. And again, don't forget you can go on there, join our fantasy league. Just click on the tab that says ISCP Rivals, and it will take you to our fantasy league. So get your picks in.
Yeah, and I can't stress enough, guys. Please visit our website, www.theindysportscarpodcast.com. Missy spent so many hours on it. It looks great. I mean, and it's just going to get better because now I'm going to get involved with pictures.
Oh, no, you're not. So, yeah, and don't forget to pick up Christian's book.
Oh, yeah, we didn't. Nice.
At the Outside.
No, My Life and
Story.
The Outside Group by Cosby Media Productions.
Yes.
Forwarded by Willie T. Ribbs. Found at Barnes & Noble's, Books A Million, Kudos, and Missy?
Amazon.com and other fine retailers.
You just had to, I knew I screwed up the Amazon, but I had to keep going. But you just had to throw it in there. I didn't throw it in my face. I almost had it right.
And on that note,
I can't even say his last name. Time out, Missy.
Nope.
No,
that I know.
I need to plug the Racecaster guys because they're about to have our forecast. Okay, thank you. Again, for like I said, it's racecasterweather.com. Go over there for the Twitter. Scott and Doug Thompson. Oops. Sorry, I suck with names. Don't get mad. But anyway, they are great guys. They do. They are meteorologists by trade. It's not like a hobby, and they provide a professional weather forecast for every race. This year. So every show before every race weekend. If you're going to the race, make sure you stay to the end and listen to what the skies are going to do and what the sun's going to do to you or the cars or both, while you go. And they do a great job. And I just love the pairing, and I couldn't be more grateful to the guys for doing what they do and sending me over the MP3s always on time. So thank you, guys.
And on that note, that I know that Frank, he knows nothing.
Never.
And, Marty, well,
Bald.
He sometimes knows. But everyone knows
Love him.
It is race weekend in St. Petersburg,
Firestone GP. Holla.
Here's your Racecast weather forecast for the Indycar Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. I'm meteorologist Doug Schneider. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful weekend for racing at St. Petersburg. That's kind of what you'd expect for Florida this time of year anyway. But temperatures are going to be quite pleasant through the event. Saturday it's going to be mostly sunny with a morning low in the lower 60s and a high temperature near 80 degrees. Winds will be from the generally southerly direction at 5 to 10 miles an hour. And on Sunday, there might be a little bit more cloudiness, but you'll still see temperatures rising into the lower 80s in the afternoon. And winds will be from the south to southwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Overall, it looks like a great weekend for the opening IndyCar race.